Box.
Box is back with another video. Millie, what are we doing today?
With Champions League around the corner, we are doing our Champions League group stage predictions. We're going to see who makes it out of the group and who is going to flop. Boys, let's get into it.
Where's the Man U kid, Varvar?
I'm supporting the team that I think will actually do something this year.
Throughout the video, the boys are going to be revealing their winners of the tournament, their dark horses, their biggest disappointments, and their player of the tournament. Before we get into it, if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe to see more videos from us every single week. Boys, are we ready?
I am ready to go. Millie, are we starting with Group A?
We will be starting with none other than Group A, Pala. It'll be Bayern, United, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. Boys, where do you have them?
Why don't we start with Galatasaray? Where are you putting them?
Are we in consensus that they might actually get top two?
I think the group is just not, it's just not that good. So I see Galatasaray.
This is a Juve fan talking, by the way.
I get Galatasaray at second.
I have them at second as well.
They think that they're funny and different because, oh my God, Galatasaray is going to pull up with Tanguy and Ndombele and Dries Mertens. It's 2023. These players are not good. Not a single player in Galatasaray's Fenerbahce fan here, by the way. Not a single player in that starting 11 is worth even naming. Galatasaray are finishing last in the group, dead last.
Varvar,
Yes.
do you not think that Mauro Icardi would start for your team?
Mauro Icardi starting for a serious club in 2023.
And who exactly is your striker?
You can tell they're Serie A fans.
And
Mauro
who's your striker?
Icardi, Rasmus Højlund, wonder kid.
Put some respect on Mauro Icardi's name. However, I have Galatasaray third. I don't think they're going to make it past the groups. They will be going to Europa League.
Millie, get that United out of your mouth because I was going to say fourth, but no, I'm putting United third. I think we all have Bayern first.
No,
No?
no.
You don't have...
That's
I was hoping.
I'm only saying this because if Bayern bought a CDM, I would agree with you. But Marcus Rashford on the counter against Højlund and Kimmich is not going to be able to defend any of these players. They're finishing second.
Who exactly do you have to stop a counter? Who does United have to stop?
Casemiro, Amrabat.
Have you...
Oh my lord. They have Kane. They have Gnabry. They have Musiala. They have...
Is that supposed to move me?
Bro, they
That's
haven't even...
destroying
should.
your defense.
You conceded 2 goals to Nottingham Forest on the counter.
I'm assuming right now that our team's going to be fully healthy in 2 or 3 weeks time. And I'm not assuming that we're going to get injuries out the wazoo like we have. I'm saying a fully fit Manchester United should, in theory, finish on top of Bayern.
A fully fit Manchester United is still not...
Exactly.
Like, it still has
You
gaps.
said Amrabat.
No, it doesn't.
You said Amrabat.
Okay.
the issue I see comes down to defense. Bayern, Kim Min-jae, and De Ligt, I'm sorry, Varvar, is much, much better than what you guys
De
have
Ligt has yet to start a Bundesliga game as of recording today.
Champions League is a long tournament, my friend. This is going to be one where it's going to be longevity. It's going to be depth. And United clearly don't have that right now.
And somehow, Millie, you still put them second, I'm assuming.
I did put them second. I respect Galatasaray, but I have to see how they play in Champions League. I have no clue. United, I feel like they're going to bring it up a notch in Champions League. So I think they'll make it past the group.
All logic on this side of the table goes out the door because they're talking about depth while talking about Galatasaray finishing on top of us. It just doesn't make sense. Name me Galatasaray's backup center back, Bala.
Do I need to know? No.
Exactly.
I
But you're
don't need
talking
to know.
about depth as if it
I just
matters
know
when you're trying
that
to talk
Manchester
about Galatasaray.
United is the peak of entertainment. And the peak of entertainment will always entertain. And this season, we're going to laugh at Manchester United getting knocked out in the group stage.
That leaves one odd team out, and that is Copenhagen. It looks like everyone has put them fourth.
That's not true. That's not true. I have them third just off the fact that they have more Højlunds in their team than Galatasaray. So I put them third.
There's no way you put Galatasaray fourth.
They have 2 Højlunds in their team. That means that they must be a pretty decent team.
You're rating off your aura, Varvar.
And did you hear what he just said to us?
I kind of blocked...
And now, anyway, let's move on.
We will be traveling to Group B, and we have Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, and Lens. Some top teams. What do we think?
Well, let's get the rabbit out of the hat. Arsenal first. Let's all just say Arsenal first. I'm not going to sit here and say Arsenal aren't going to finish below Sevilla.
So there is a bit of logic in Varvar's head.
You have to put some respect on their name. I mean, they are a good team. And if you're going to see throughout my list, the Premier League teams get favorable positions because they play in the hardest league in the world.
Oh my
They're
Lord.
only a good team. Listen to this. They're only a good team because they beat Manchester United 3-1.
Yeah.
So we lost to a very good team.
It would not be a surprise if every single Premier League team in the Champions League topped their group. It would not be a surprise.
They're
at
the
all.
teams with most depth. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. These teams, the gap between Arsenal and these teams are kind of big, but these teams still play well. You have Sevilla, where I have them second in this group. I think they're going to make it out. Usually they go third to win Europa League, but I think they're going to make it out of the groups this time.
I have them second also, Millie, and you know why? Because I see them as the most likely to take points off of Arsenal. So that's why I think that the three other teams are going to be pretty equal, but Sevilla is going to gain that advantage on Arsenal. And Arsenal, Arteta's been a bit of a fraud in Europe. Lost to Sporting last season, but whatever, we'll let it slide.
Yeah, but Verver, Arsenal last year in Europa League, they lost against PSV, I'm pretty sure. 1-0?
It's possible, but I mean, they probably beat them.
They beat them on the second tie, but PSV really fought against Arsenal.
Are you putting PSV second?
I am.
Wow.
Because I think
you're
they have
alone.
the juice.
You're alone on that one. I don't. There's nothing going on at PSV for me. Sevilla is just a team, like Varvar said. I think they can take a point off of Arsenal, and that's coming from an Arsenal fan.
And they signed Sergio Ramos, don't forget that.
It seems like the boys know where Arsenal and Sevilla are going to be landing. But what about PSV and Lens? Where are they placing in this group?
I'm gonna change my list up a bit. I'm gonna put Lens at 3 and PSV at 4. I think Xavi Simons is a big loss, and Lens made a couple of good signings over the summer.
Eli Watkins
exotic.
might be a little bit of a hidden gem. This year
Varvar
in
put
the
me
Champions
on.
League.
He put me on.
You guys are underrating Dutch teams, though.
We're not
Every
underrating.
Champions League, they always go far.
And you know what? A lot of these players have Champions League experience from the previous years. So they're coming into this season and seeing Lens, who don't have that much experience. They're going to go into each game knowing how to prep and how to get ready and how to win.
Exactly. For me, Lens probably clear fourth, just because they don't have experience, and they're also gonna battle for the Liga this year again. But we'll see.
Over into Group C, we have a juggernaut. It is Real Madrid with Napoli, Union Berlin, and Braga. Boys, where are we putting the 14-time champions?
So I'm gonna go Braga, Berlin. No, I'm just kidding.
I agree.
Do we all have Real at 1?
I have Real at 1.
Okay, good.
We all have it.
We all do that.
But they might be on fraud watch this year if they don't get any attackers in and they keep getting injuries because
Varvar, you know what that segues perfectly into? Although I put Madrid 1.
Pala, I've done this before. Don't do it.
Madrid are my Champions League flops this season.
Oh my
That's
Ain't no way.
easy.
Pala.
Courtois is huge. Vinny, he's nursing an early season injury, which I don't know if it'll develop into anything, but there's a lot of injuries. Militao, it's not looking that good, bruv.
But Bellingham is that guy.
I know he's that guy, but how many games could he win for them?
He won all of them so far.
I know, yeah, but that's like you're banking on a summer transfer to win you a Champions League.
Pala, trust me, from every single I was the guy every single year I said there's no way Real Madrid are going to be good this year. Every single without fail, Pala, without fail.
Yeah, but
Now I'm Madridista. So
yeah, but you used to say that, and then Courtois would steal the show, and that's not happening this season.
but Jude Bellingham is that guy.
I know
agree
he's
with
that guy.
Ferns. He's that guy.
I'm gonna do it. I gotta learn the hard way. I'm stubborn.
You can never, ever, ever count Real Madrid out. We have all learned our lessons with that. But now Napoli, who coming off a very strong Serie A, aren't looking too good right now. Boys, are they making it out the groups?
Look, Napoli is a specific situation that they could go both ways, but I think it's the second place is locked in.
But how do you see them doing? Because last season you extremely overrated Napoli.
I love Spalletti. You guys know I love Spalletti,
Yeah, but
but
Osimhen, Cavara, like
for me, it's an individual quality that's gonna push them to the second place.
Napoli, enjoy Kyrgyzstan. You're ending up in third. Union Berlin is finishing second.
no way.
You actually believe that?
I actually do believe that.
Bonucci is gonna carry Union Berlin to second place.
He's going to give all the boys in the Union Berlin squad tips on how to defend Osimhen, on how to defend
Oh,
Cavani.
yeah.
Well, he
Right,
didn't
right.
do a
Did
good-
such a great
he
job.
didn't do a good job
He
of
did
it
a
last
great
season,
job
so-
of that.
Kivicha, you are on fraud watch. You heard it here personally. 2 assists in like the last 28 games and no
Yeah, that's
open
crazy.
play goals. I
That's
mean, come
crazy.
on, man. Union Berlin's eating that up.
I know I do not rate Rudy Garcia, but come on, man. You cannot say Napoli will not make it out the groups, especially with those players still on that team. Union Berlin, they are ones to watch. They're good, but not good enough to make it past the groups, man. Come on.
It's fortunate that Napoli have such an easy group because I think Braga is clearly the third best team in their league.
I would say fourth.
In their league?
Oh, in their league?
Yeah, in the respective league. And Berlin, I'm not so familiar with their game, but I don't respect their game that much. Because I think Napoli would get third in most of these other groups, but I'm going to put them second.
I'm putting them third, and then Braga fourth, obviously.
Braga fourth, Union Berlin third.
Even though respect the Horta brothers, ballers on Braga.
Indeed.
We are heading into Group D, and I'm kind of nervous. It is Benfica, Inter, Salzburg, and Sociedad. Boys, I better not hear some wild shouts.
Well, let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Inter are going to Europa League in my group.
What?
Really?
Come on, man. Like, I'm not even playing right now. You cannot do that. Yeah, I know you're doing that just to get me riled up. I know for a fact.
I'm joking, Millie. They're first in my group. Obviously, they're first. Look, I'm turning a bit into an Interisti every single day. That keeps moving, you know?
It's the connection.
Yeah, it just so happened that at the end of last season, Inter was having a crazy Champions League run, and Varvar started turning blue.
And they also ended up playing Manchester City, so I see a little connection over there.
Some people may say that CL final run was a fluke.
It was a fluke. Let's not lie
It
here.
wasn't. As a Milan fan, I'm telling you that.
Yeah, because you guys all went through the same side. But whatever, it's okay.
But that being said, I think Inter is still going to be first in this group. They have no other way of going about it. Second is a little tight for me, I'm not going to lie, but it has to be first.
I got Inter Milan first as well.
Thank you.
From the Juve fan, I hope the AC Milan fan agrees with me too.
Millie, before you come here and you beat me up, let me explain my point.
Go for it.
I put them second because maybe the Juve fan could contest this. Benfica were an excellent team last year, and they topped the group
They
with
have
PSG and Juventus.
They have Di Maria. Di Maria obviously didn't do anything versus Inter in Serie A last season, so who's to say he's going to do something now?
But Benfica did against PSG and Juventus, so I think they're going to top it again.
But the difference is that they don't have Enzo Fernandez this year, and Goncalo Ramos. But whatever.
And we've beaten them last year in Champions League too. Don't forget that. We beat Porto as well.
With an Onana masterclass, let's not forget that either.
Doesn't matter. Whole team played well. They had to win. They had to score to win.
0-0.
That's crazy. De Gea is still a better shot stopper than Onana though.
Okay.
That is crazy.
It's a
We
Champions
will-
League
we will not
convers-
get into that.
It's a Champions League conversation, Pala.
De Gea is going to find his way into a Champions League team, watch.
We have players like Lautaro, Bastoni, Barella. These players, they don't just come out of nowhere. These are pure winners. And that's why they are going to be first in this group. I'm expecting big things from this group, but we shall see. Boys, where do we have everyone else?
Well, I mean, for me, after watching Real Sociedad in Europa League last year, sadly, because they were in Manchester United's group, I'm going to put them second. This team is actually very well drilled.
Who?
Real,
Oh
What
my.
do you mean, who?
Real Sociedad?
Real Sociedad is finishing second in this group. They have some juju on their team that doesn't make sense. They get pens out of nowhere. Millie, you're going to see there's going to be an obvious no pen given. Bang, pen Real Sociedad, 92nd minute. There's 3 points gone.
But Varvar doesn't have bias. Disclaimer, he doesn't have bias.
You're going to see.
I'm putting Real Sociedad third. I think Salzburg is,
I agree.
for a lack of a better word, Dookie. And then Benfica second.
From what I've read on Twitter, Inter fans cannot be complacent with these teams. They are ones that are going to be tricky, hard to break down. I'm kind of nervous for this group. I'm not going to lie. I'm always nervous every year. But Sociedad does scare me a little bit. That's why I have them second.
Boys, you put up some good points, but Real Sociedad, they're third. As I said, Benfica is going to top the group. Inter, they have too much experience. Real Sociedad got that Spanish aura, but I don't think they're going to pass.
But honestly, Salzburg, they got some young players.
Who?
They lost Sheshko, so I don't know.
Their
Who they got
striker-
over there?
their-
Who they got over
their
there?
strikers
Someone
are mid.
always pops up, though.
Their strikers are mid.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't say
it's
that.
like how some guy always pops up.
Literally.
So I'm just
Sesko,
assuming
Haaland.
they're gonna have a couple
Don't
guys.
they have like a 19-year-old Ivorian striker or something?
Oh, it's possible.
They have a Croatian,
You
that guy
could- you-
Simic.
He's
oh,
pretty
he's good. He's actually pretty
I don't
good.
know, I'm
Milan
FM
Academy.
legend. FM legend.
Milan Academy?
Not Milan Academy.
I'm thinking of a wrong Simic then.
Yeah, very wrong. But look, good young players, but definitely finishing last in this group.
Varvar, I'm going to have to agree with you there. I think Salzburg is going to finish below Benfica in this group.
Millie, 100%. They're going to be fourth. They have such a young squad. I don't know if they're going to have the experience to pass the group.
I agree.
Group B is up next, and we have Feyenoord, Lazio, Celtic, and Atletico Madrid. Boys, this is actually a tough group. Where do we have these teams?
Bro, this is as tough as a stick of butter. This is a mid group.
This is
say
not
that.
a mid group. These
is a
are
mid-group.
All 4 teams have a chance to make it through.
Inter
I
would
agree
top
with
this
that.
group.
Inter would top this. I don't know.
I
if
don't
they
know about that.
I don't think. You know why Inter wouldn't top this group?
Why?
Because Atletico Madrid are my dark horses to win it all.
Boom!
Oh my lord.
Boom!
I was thinking about putting Atletico as my dark horses.
Why do you guys say that?
I was gonna do it, but I saw Favre did it, so I don't want to copy it.
There's no tougher opposition in the CL, maybe, unless you're talking about the cities, you know, like the elite sides, than going to face Atletico Madrid.
Yep.
But what changed from last year when they came fourth in their group?
Because I feel like the entire dressing room is focused now, and you don't have players like João Felix that go against the ideology of the coach. Everyone in the locker room knows their job and are going to go out there and do what they're supposed to do.
I think last season was just a bad sprint at a bad sprint of bad form at a bad time during the groups.
And secretly, Atletico Madrid have been building an elite squad.
Yep.
I mean, you have players like there's underrated players. Like at the last World Cup, we saw players like Molina, who was very, very good. And then you have players like DePaul. You have players like Koke. Saul's back in the squad. I'm not saying I'm the biggest Saul fan, but then you have Jimenez. You have a bunch of world-class
And
players.
you still got Depay, Griezmann cooking
Griezmann, one of the best players in the world.
On his day.
on his day.
He is one of the best.
I mean,
Over the last
yeah,
calendar year,
I
he's
agree
been
with
one of the
that.
best players in the world.
Especially for France.
Well, boys, those are some positive takes on Atletico Madrid. I have them first, but where do you have them?
I got them first.
Obviously, me and Pala had them first. Firms,
I'm
you
gonna
better
go
keep the
bold.
streak going.
You better not say what
I'm
I'm
gonna go
thinking.
bold.
You
I
better not
think-
say Feyenoord.
I think they're gonna come third.
Oh my God! I cannot believe that any of these teams you think are better than
So this is your
Atletico.
flop. So this is your flop then.
It could pass as my flop, but I have a bigger flop later. But it's just from last year, I was so disappointed. They had Club Bruges and they couldn't beat them. Like, how could a team this stacked?
Respect Club Bruges.
I mean, they got destroyed by Benfica.
Tajon Buchanan was playing at Club Bruges
Facts.
last season.
Facts.
We have the Spanish giant going through, not according to firms, but we have an Italian representative here as well, Lazio. Are we expecting big things from them?
Pala's sleeping, but
Put
I
some
think,
respect
yeah.
on Lazio's name.
Lazio lost 2 of their first 3 games. They beat Napoli, but my Sunday league team can beat Napoli this season.
Lazio has improved so much recently.
Who?
Over the years.
They lost SMS.
And
It's
they're
over.
such a big team that they're going to finish third in the group
They
and end up
lost
in Europa League.
SMS.
Oh, so-
Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, they lost them.
They finished third in Europa League. That's what they're going to do.
I personally have Lazio coming second in this group. I think they're going to make it out of the groups. But for you guys that say they're going to be in Europa League, do you think SMS is that big of a loss where they'll lose a Champions League spot?
It's a huge loss.
He is a big loss, but I think they're building a good squad, and I agree with you, Millie.
If Saki, bro, I just Sari, I didn't know Saki, bro.
This guy threw it
No, so anyway, Sari, give this man his cigarettes or else he's not coaching Lazio out of this group.
Yeah, I did not check out this information. Are cigarettes allowed in Feyenoord Stadium and Celtic
Depends.
Stadium?
I don't think they're allowed in Feyenoord Stadium.
they're
no.
finishing bottom.
In all seriousness, this team only relies on Ciro Immobile. They have good supporting players, but
This guy's saying this as if that's a good thing.
That's not a good thing.
That's
Millie.
not a good
Exactly.
thing.
That's what I'm trying to say. If he has a bad season, Lazio's whole entire season could be in jeopardy here, and especially their Champions League spot.
So their whole entire season's in jeopardy.
Is that jeopardy?
because Immobile, look, Italian legend.
Yeah.
But don't get it twisted.
When
You are not him
Anymore. I love you, Chino.
ever.
Nah, he was all right.
And for the final 2 teams, boys, we had Feyenoord and Celtic. Where do we have them?
I might be too much of a hipster here.
I'm gonna put Celtic 4th.
I agree.
No way.
I have them fourth
because
also.
if Ange was still their manager,
Oof.
then it's a different situation we're talking about here.
I don't even think so.
Bro, the amount of
Scottish teams have had such a hard time in Champions League. Every single year, they either don't even make it past qualifying, or they don't even make it past the groups. I don't see
But
them
it's
anywhere else.
because other than Rangers, there's no one in the league that even poses a threat. So it's like
and Rangers
right.
isn't even in it anymore.
they yeah, exactly. And they go from playing teams like Hearts or whoever's in the Scottish league to playing Atletico Madrid. Like the disparity between teams you're playing is so big that when they get to the big games, they're not used to it.
They're
It's
not ready
Should
for
they
that.
be allowed in the FA Cup?
No, they should not.
Low key.
Look, if they were rich Saudi billionaire clubs, they would somehow buy their way into the FA Cup.
100%.
So I don't know. Celtic and Rangers, should they be in the FA Cup?
Celtic last in the group for sure.
With Celtic last, where are we putting Feyenoord? Especially Firms, where are you going to put Feyenoord?
Speaking about Ange, I got Feyenoord first, and I'll explain why I'm relating this to Ange. There's one guy that is leading this one team, Feyenoord, which I put first, that actually rejected Spurs because he's making progress with this club. And this guy is actually him, and I put them first.
Bro,
Firms, that is one of the wildest shouts of the video, I think. That needs to be a clip on its own. Feyenoord first in this group is ridiculous.
Look, I think first is crazy,
Yeah.
but I have them second.
I have them second.
It's a respectable team, very good team, young team, but first on top of Atletico,
yeah, that's wild.
insane.
Anyway, Firms, I'm giving you Hipster of the Month. New award I'm giving out.
He wins
monthly.
it every month.
It's his 14th consecutive month winning Hipster of the Month.
I'll take the award.
I think everyone watching this video has been waiting for this moment. It is Group F, the group of death. We have PSG, Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle United. This isn't a question of who's getting through. It's a question of who's not getting through.
So you guys want to do it in a structured way? We go team by team.
Team by team.
No, let's not do team by. Let's go position by position.
Okay.
So who do we have first?
Paris Saint-Germain.
I have PSG also. Firms, you better have it.
No, he doesn't.
Millie, who do you have first?
Going straight to me, it is PSG first.
So I'm the outlier again. I'm wearing
Don't
the kit.
say it. Oh my God.
I'm wearing the kit. It's got to be Milan.
Bro, that list
First?
reeks from here. It
First?
smells.
I'll give you the reasons.
I thought it was me, but I guess it's that
It's
list.
that list, man. It smells.
Respect this jersey. We have built an amazing squad. Pioli's the manager, so that's the only reason why I could agree with you guys. But I think we might make it out.
Oh my God.
You are not making out the hood.
Define an amazing squad, because like players like Loftus-Cheek against 4-year-old retired people in Serie A, yeah, they look good.
Do you know Pulisic scored in his first game for AC Milan?
But against a midfield of Ugarte, Vitinha, it won't. Who is Loftus-Cheek, bro? Who is this guy? He's been
Where's the
hyped for the last
experience in
decade.
Vitinha?
Where's the experience in Loftus-Cheek?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're experienced. I'm saying these are underrated players.
Reindeers.
Respect Rangers. This guy's a baller.
But Pulisic won a Champions League.
They have Rudolph in midfield.
These are
You have
underrated
Rudolph on
players
striker.
that are willing to prove something. And I think at Milan, it's the perfect place to
I
put it.
think Padre Pioli, it's his time is up. Unfortunately, PSG is number one for me.
Firms, you put them first in the group. Does that mean you think their semi-final run was actually deserved?
Well, actually, according to Firms' logic, they should be winning it this year
Yeah.
because they made the semifinals and got better.
That's the minimum. That's the floor. Semi-finals is the floor.
Pioli should be sacked if they don't make the semifinals, in my
You guys
opinion.
might know ball. I mean, the semis were a bit of a luck. But Pioli,
But
man.
Inter was deserved. But
Yeah.
Inter
It was
Inter was
deserved.
definitely deserved.
But
They
you
just
have
had
to
to beat AC
understand,
Milan.
you
They
have to
just had to beat
understand
AC.
the team that Milan pulled to the semis is ridiculously bad. And right now they improved every position.
So you should be winning it this year.
I
Going
think
to finals. They should be going to finals.
I think if they don't make it out of the group, it's a bit of a flop season.
Talking about winners, my winner, by the way, is PSG.
Really?
Bang! Winner of the tournament.
There's no way.
Yeah, obviously.
You know what,
they're-
Barbara? I got some in my pocket. PSG being the dark horse of the tournament.
Really?
Do you guys want to hear mine?
Yeah.
PSG being the flop of the tournament.
Oh my God, man. How do you say that? How can you say that with a straight face?
Yeah, that's crazy.
They have an amazing team, but it's too much going on. Like, they revolutionized their entire team. I don't know.
And
Too
you're-
much going on. What, Neymar and Messi, the two like cancers of the like. I mean, Messi's not a cancer, but he's a cancerous player in that team.
Too big of an ego. Like,
Yeah,
egos
like
are just too big.
But-
you're losing that. That's already an improvement.
So you're losing superstars, and you're
you're-
replacing them with decent players, okay?
Goncalo Ramos.
Sure.
And he's not even the
Ousmane
starting
Dembele.
striker. Dembele.
Good
Barcola.
players.
Very, very good player, Barcola.
Kolo Muani. You have a midfield three of like young players that are hungry and want to win.
Fair enough.
My player of the tournament is also Kylian Mbappe.
Oh, wow.
I think he's gonna single-handedly carry this team into winning the Champions League, their first ever Champions League.
I forget Mbappe's in this team still.
With the first position out of the way, who's going to get the second and final Champions League spot?
I got Newcastle.
I also got Newcastle.
I also got Newcastle.
That's crazy because I have Milan second and Newcastle is my flop of the tournament.
Oh wow.
Newcastle flop, Millie. They
But how-
play.
how- yeah, how is that
They
a flop?
play in the Premier League, Millie, the best league in the world.
That's great to hear, but they're the ones that have the least amount of Champions League experience in this whole group, and I think that's a huge factor.
But Millie, like flopping to me, you need to have expectations to flop.
I agree, and I think Newcastle's expectation, everyone has the expectation that because they play in the Premier League, that they're going to be cruising in this group and that they're going to be going deep into the tournament.
For me, Newcastle flop would be like they would have to score 0 goals in the group stage and be like 4th.
Facts.
That would be like a flop for them.
When I say flop, I mean they won't even get past the groups. Like, people have them going deep into this tournament. It's just-
Degenerate Premier League
It's
fans.
because every single time they play teams like Arsenal and Man City, they get points, or if they don't get points, they put up a good fight.
Yeah.
So what makes you think that teams like Milan and Dortmund, maybe PSG, are going to compete with Newcastle? They're not even competing.
Well, like, I mean, he did say the lack of experience in the Champions League.
It's a fair point.
But Tonali plays for Newcastle, and he played in the Champions League last season.
He actually went to the semis.
True.
The one point I do agree with is that week in, week out, Newcastle play elite and top talent. Milan, mainly every week, you see that there's competition, there's challenges. With Dortmund,
define every
you do not
week,
see
but
it.
yeah.
Yeah, define every week.
If they're playing Juve, then yeah, but
There's like 6 decent teams in Serie A, and I'm talking about decent. That would
Brother,
like be
this
mid-table.
Serie A, I hate this so.
we won't even get into it.
You finish mid, like there's like 6 teams that finish mid-table in Prem, but whatever.
At the end of the day, I think everyone can agree Dortmund will be last in this group. Unfortunately, their Bundesliga performances have not been up to par, and I'm afraid that their Champions League appearances are going to be the same.
How do you lose a player like Jude Bellingham and then just replace him with Marcel Sabitzer?
Yeah.
How am
Yeah,
I
but-
expected to take you seriously as an
I don't know.
organization?
We're kind of
Tough.
sleeping on Dortmund. I know they're still going to be, maybe they're still going to be 4th, but I feel like they're still putting up fights in all these matches.
Well, of course, they have one of the best stadiums in the world. That's their home form is gonna predict how they're gonna do in the group.
The only way I see them coming out of this group, and it's because I like this youngster, is if Adeyemi carries them out of the group. If
Too
not,
much to ask, man.
I agree. It's too much to ask at
But
this
there's no
point. That's why I
pressure.
have them 4th.
Because everybody has them 4th. There's no pressure. Dortmund can only exceed expectations.
But when you're playing in front of 90,000 Dortmund fans screaming, chanting, yelling, there is a bit of pressure there.
But you're going to need a player like Mukoku or Adeyemi to step up and come out of the shadows to carry them into
But they
the round
still
of
have
16.
they still have older players. They have Champions League experience. Like, I would not be surprised if someone came up to me and said, you know what, I think they're gonna be 3rd or maybe even 2nd. I wouldn't be so surprised. Like, I wouldn't tell them off.
The Champions League groups are starting to shape up, and we have none other than the treble winners, the title holders, Manchester City, playing with Leipzig, Red Star Belgrade, and Young Boys. I had to look at my screen because there's so many wild names there.
Do we all have the same ranking?
The boys from Bern, man, they're gonna top the group.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we probably all have the same group. Let's make this quick. Number 1, Man City.
Yep.
Really?
I agree.
Number 2,
Don't say that.
Sir Zena Zvezda. No? Okay. Leipzig,
Yeah,
obviously.
Leipzig too.
Yep.
This may be a crazy shout, but I have Leipzig as my dark horse of the tournament. For me, they are going to make it out of the groups, and they are going to cause some damage in the knockout rounds.
Dark Horses round of 16. Leipzig, lift your round of 16 trophy.
Millie, that's crazy. That is actually crazy. You saw this whole list of teams and you decided that Leipzig would be your dark horse.
I don't think anyone even thought about Leipzig as a dark horse. That is why I'm picking them. I think that they're going to go deep enough that people think they have a shot of getting to the final.
I think Benjamin Sesko, watch out for him because this might be his breakout tournament. I'm not going to cap. If we didn't buy Højlund, I would have said, let's buy Benjamin Sesko. But
He's a baller.
he is a baller, low key.
But he was connected to Manchester United, so that's what makes him a baller in Barbar's eyes.
I'll let this pass though. He's actually a baller.
3rd, Young Boys.
No.
Okay.
No?
I have Red Star.
Yeah,
Red
me
Star
too.
3rd. Young Boys 4th.
No.
Millie,
Red Star have
quick,
Champions League
quick
experience.
pop trivia quiz. Name me a Red Star Belgrade player.
Anyways, back to Man City. The treble winners. Title holders.
Millie, are you about to use your...
Name me a player on Young Boys.
Unsaj.
Spell it.
Spell it. Let's put some respect on the Switzerland's champions' names, but I have them third.
I don't even know if they're Switzerland champions.
They are the Swiss champs.
Well, Red
But they
Star
won.
Belgrade is
Didn't they
the
win through the
champ-
playoffs?
So Red Star Belgrade's. Where's Belgrade in Bulgaria?
Serbia, I think.
In Serbia?
They're the champions of Serbia.
Now that we've ironed out where Red Star Belgrade plays, boys, where are they gaining? I can't even say their name. Where are they getting placed?
Zvera. Sorry for the pronunciation. Is going third in the group.
What a
Third?
nice pronunciation.
Fourth. Definitely fourth.
Third. You don't want to step in that stadium. Like I'd be afraid to play there.
First, we didn't even know where the country was.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we've seen the videos. They have fireworks,
That's true.
pitch invasions.
That's true.
I'd be third.
The young boys are here to take over.
Oh, brother.
Pause.
As we can see, this is a special group, but the special team in this group is Man City, and they are my winners of the tournament. Boys, do you have them as your winners too?
I do. I do think they're gonna double. They got better. They didn't get worse. They didn't stay the same. They got better.
You guys must be
agree.
the life of the party, man. You guys really enjoy your nights out, huh?
mean, we're
We're trying to
love-
keep the energy high here.
We're realists.
Yeah.
Man City's gonna win.
You don't think they're gonna get to the finals at least, Barbara?
No.
That's
Not to the final.
That's why.
It's gonna be a Manchester United Arsenal final.
All right.
you
End the
wish.
video.
I will be there no matter what, though.
With Pep getting his Champions League title with City out of the way, I think he's going into this tournament with the most confidence he's ever had. I don't think he could see this list and say, I'm going to lose a game. I think he's going to not lose a game the whole tournament.
All tournament. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no.
Has that ever happened?
How often do teams go back to back in CL? You have to be a very special team to do that.
And
Real Madrid.
Pep is a very special manager with a special team.
I don't know. Is the
Back-to-back
team that
treble?
special? I think that their 100-point seasons, they were better than the teams they have now. But whatever.
With Man City as my team to win the tournament, I have none other than Erling Haaland as my player of the tournament. I hope you guys have something similar.
I refuse to say that Haaland will actually be the player of the tournament. Although I do think that City's going to win, I think KDB is going to be much more valuable than Haaland in that team.
That's
You
if
say
he comes
KD
back, man. That's if he comes back.
I think he's going to be back and red cheeks as ever.
The redder the
about to
cheeks,
hit.
the better.
Pala, I like the KDB shout, but with his injury, it doesn't seem like he's going to play most of the tournament, so I don't see how I can name him as the player of the tournament. But Haaland, it looks like the way he's going, he's going to score in almost every single game this tournament.
I don't know. I think KDB's going to be back sooner than people think. But I know Firms is cooking something right
Yeah, I'm listening to this. For sure, the consensus is that a player in Man City is going to win player of the tournament, for sure. But I went with Rodri. I think he's so exceptional and integral for Man City that he might slide in these conversations.
But you think he's going to get the recognition?
That's the problem.
Because the media just completely overlook players if they don't score goals or assists.
How often does something happen 2 years in a row the exact same way in sports? It almost never happens.
Yeah.
Never.
So what makes you guys think that Haaland or Roger or KDB are going to win player of the tournament?
Well,
I just don't see
if
it.
they win the tournament, then it's surely a player from their squad. And it's not Grealish because there's only so many beers you can drink to make him win that.
I don't know. I think Foden may be a low-key shout this year.
Nah. Rico Lewis.
We are now down to the last group. We have Barcelona, Shakhtar, Antwerp, and Porto. Boys, where are we putting the Spanish giant?
I think it's been long enough into the video. I can say it. For all my Juventus fans out there,
Oh no.
we might actually need a Super League.
And as a Man United fan, I can't agree. We need a Super League.
Why? I know everybody wants the hero stories, but is Antwerp really going to be that hero story?
Comment down below if you're actually going to watch a Red Star Belgrade versus Young Boys game or a Shakhtar versus Antwerp game. And it's not. You're just not going to watch it. Stop lying to
And
yourself.
the fact that you're losing huge fan bases because their teams aren't in these competitions. Maybe I'm just saying it because Juventus isn't in this competition, but I don't know.
Like it or not, Juventus deserve to be here more than Antwerp. That's just
I mean,
the fact.
wait.
On merit.
Antwerp won their league, so
I don't care.
They're on
I
merit.
don't care.
Antwerp would finish 14th in Serie A.
No, they
You-
finished like
They'd
20th.
probably get relegated, but you got to represent the winners of other leagues, you know?
So work your way up through the European competitions like Conference League
Bro,
and stuff like that.
everybody's like you.
And
Like
that's what they
everybody
did.
says that oh, but what about that odd chance that they would deserve it and they end up winning the chance? It never happens. These hero stories never happen.
Work your way up.
Yeah.
Through the European, so you win Conference League, then you move up to Europa League. Win Europa League, then you can go to Champions League.
It's just never going to happen that
Oh.
this team like Antwerp is going to win the Champions
But
League.
that's why there's qualifications for these things.
But who are they competing with? A bunch of mid.
Yeah, they're competing with teams of their level.
Galatasaray was the best player in that.
Okay, I got Barca finishing second in the group. They're going to be the most disappointing team in this year's Champions League.
What?
It honestly would not surprise me if Shakhtar finishes ahead of them and they don't even make it out the groups, in my honest opinion.
That is crazy.
Would you put money on that?
That is the
Xavi's getting
wildest
sacked.
shot.
Would you-
Xavi is
Okay,
getting sacked.
bro, relax.
Do you want to
relax.
bet that Barca finishes top in the group?
No.
No, he does not want to
doesn't
do that.
believe it.
Because he knows there's a
doesn't
chance. There's a good chance that they end up top, but you know what, Varvar? Sticking to his guns, he's going to say that Barca are not going to top the group.
We've been known I have a Xavi agenda for time. now.
Exactly.
But this group is mid.
It's mid.
I don't care.
Barca are mid also. And I don't know where do you, I'm assuming you guys all have Barca 1?
I think the rest of us have Barcelona first.
There just has not been enough respect put on people like Porto's name. Like, Porto,
why?
for me, are top of the group. Porto are
How-
scarier to face nowadays than Barcelona.
even
That's
the
just
best
Disagree.
team in
How
the
did they
league.
improve? You're saying Barcelona didn't improve, Porto didn't improve either.
Because,
and I love
bro,
Porto.
because you kept players like Taremi. Taremi's a big player.
But
Very
they didn't get
good
better.
player.
Keeping doesn't make them
Yeah.
better.
In Porto's eyes, yeah. Well, Porto made it further last year in Champions League than Barca.
Well, Barcelona was in the group of death.
Group of death. Group of
Bayern,
schmeth.
Inter, they had a Champions League semi. What?
Group of death, group of schmack.
No, but guys, in all seriousness, Barcelona is my dark horse. Varvar, before you slam Xavi, there's a basis for this. They have a core. They have great players coming along from La Masia, Lamine Yamal, the GOAT. Why are they not considered as a dark horse? Explain that to me,
I think
Varvar.
they're not considered a dark horse because I expect them to do well, so they're not a dark horse to me.
They're not even a top 3 team in their league.
Well,
Top 3?
Okay, we're gonna disregard that one. It's too late.
They're
It's
not
too
even a
late.
top 2. They're not a top 2.
It's too late in the video to be talking.
Atletico Madrid and Madrid better.
Varvar, with that Barca shout, I'm assuming Porto is your winner of the group.
They are. And they're a convincing winner for me too. I'm not going to cap.
So Barcelona didn't improve and Porto didn't either, but Porto is going to go ahead. How does that make any sense?
They have, like you like to say, they have experience. And this Barca team don't have experience.
Oh yeah, they do. Lewandowski. That's one of them.
Lewan Disney, like it's 2023, man. I'm not scared of Lewandowski, bro.
Gundogan.
Gundogan.
Yo, no, if you watch, Gundogan has not been that good.
Yeah, that's a Pep player right there. Outside of Pep, he ain't that good.
If you're an OG Box to Box member, you saw our previous Champions League predictions. I put Porto as the dark horse of their tournament. I'm not saying they're the dark horse now, but I'm going to say they are second in the group. They will make it to the Champions League next rounds like they did last season.
One thing we can all agree on is that Shakhtar is third and Antwerp is fourth. I hope. Anyway.
I can agree. But Antwerp have a sick young player that may break out this tournament called Vermeuren. He's been very, very good for Antwerp.
What position?
He's a center mid,
I don't
Nice.
I don't know about him.
linked to Manchester United.
Oh, there we
right.
go. That's the link.
You should have led with that one. So I would have just closed my ears.
Shakhtar does this thing where they end up with a top team in their group and they somehow take points away from everybody, but then don't even make it to the next rounds. They're a pest in the groups. I've had them with Inter 2-3 times in a row. They are very tough to play against, but I do have them third.
And Shakhtar is one of those teams that always seems like they have young Ukrainian ballers coming through.
And they're somehow always making it out of the playoff.
Exactly, I
Oh,
agree.
wow.
That's why I think Shakhtar might push Barca out. We'll
Oh
see.
my God.
No, Varvar, no.
We'll see. I still got Barca second, but we'll see.
And with that, our groups are set. We have the teams that will go on to the next round. There are some shocking takes, but the top teams seem to be all going through. Fellas, I think this was a very successful prediction.
One thing before we end, though, we want to know what you guys think about Champions League. We want to know your predictions of winners, dark horses, flops, and your player of the tournament. Leave it down in the comments.
And I know you guys don't share the opinion of them. Manchester United is going out the groups 100%, topping the group even.
Out in the groups.
Comment if Manchester United is coming out of the groups.
Thanks for watching. We love you guys.